Hi, in this video you're going to learn how to make a 3D rotating cube in JavaScript. For this we will use a WebGL library called THREE.js, and there are many projects which have been made in THREE.js and they're amazing. Like someone made a car, there's a company made a car prototype on the web using THREE.js, so it actually works. So this, and someone has made this, like these buildings bounce with the audio they are linked to. So this is just one of the many examples of what people have made in Blender. THREE.js. So let's start with a blank web page. Now you can learn a bit about THREE.js from their website. Although there are like the documentation and everything is just spread out, you have to search. So first let's make something basic. This is an empty web page. Let me just drag it to the left. So first let's make an HTML document. Let's name it 3D cube. Okay, and so for this you need THREE.min.js. You need to download THREE.js. You can find it on their GitHub. Like if you go to their GitHub, then under build, I think, yes, under build you will find THREE.min.js. Just download it. And yes, so I have downloaded it and it's in the same directory as my file. So let's include that, THREE.min.js. And then we will be writing our code in another script tag. So for creating a 3D cube or anything in this THREE.js, we need a scene and a camera and a renderer. The scene will have all our components. The camera will it's the camera, and the renderer will render both the scene and the camera. So for example, let me show you Blender. So this is Blender. This will be of no use in this video, but this can be used to explain. For example, we have a cube here and we have a light and we have a camera. So this all makes up the scene, and I can move it around on 3 axes. It's currently at 0, 0, 0. Okay, so I will explain more as we go on. So we need a scene. So we create that by scene is equals to THREE.Scene. Then we need a camera. Camera is equals to new THREE.PerspectiveCamera. Now the perspective camera takes 4 arguments. The first is the field of vision, which 75 is it's a good field of view, so 75. And then the aspect ratio, that will be the width of the window divided by the height of the window. So let me just do that. And then the third and fourth argument are the near and far distances. Now this means how much of the view is being rendered. For example, nothing will be rendered outside of 1000 unit distances. So, and nothing will be rendered which is before 0.5 distance from the camera. And let's set our camera position.z is equals to 5. Now we're doing this because if the camera overlaps with the cube, then we won't see anything. It needs to have something in front of it so that we can actually see anything. This is the camera. So yes, and this is how the field of view works, but let's that is for some other video. So we have a scene, we have a camera. Now we need something to render the scene and camera into the web page. So we do renderer is equals to new THREE.WebGLRenderer. And you can also specify anti-aliasing, but I'm not going to do that. Now we need to set the size of the renderer. renderer.setSize, because the renderer gives us the canvas element, and since we want the canvas to take up the whole width of our screen, I'll just pass in the window's width and height. Yes, so that's done. So we have a renderer, and we also have to add this to the document.body.appendChild renderer.domElement. Now what this does is we have all the code everything that is displayed will be on a canvas element, and renderer.domElement gives us the canvas element. So we are just appending the canvas element to our web page. So let's see how that works. See, we have a canvas element. It's the borders, it's not taking up the full width, and that's because the body has a margin. So we'll just do some simple CSS here, and we'll go body margin is 0. So if you do this, then if you refresh, then the borders are gone and it takes up the full width. So we can also, for safety, we can just specify canvas width is 100% and height is 100%. So that's good. Okay, so now we have a canvas element. Now we need to draw something to it. So let's create a cube. Now a cube, if you come back to this is a cube. It has the geometry of a box. Let me see if I can find the, yes, okay, here it is. The geometry is this of a box. You can see this in this view, and if you add a material to it, then it becomes a solid cube. So we need a geometry and a material to make this a full cube. So for that, we will need geometry, and THREE.js comes with pre-built geometries, THREE.BoxGeometry. I made a spelling mistake last time I was doing this, so I'm being extra careful. Geometry. Now we need to pass in the width, the height, and the depth, which for a cube will be the same number. So, and we need a material, new let's go with mesh basic material for now. We're going to change it later on, and we're going to specify the color, which is in hex. So if you want a tutorial on hex, it's very simple. Okay, so for I don't want any red, so 0, a bit of green, and fully blue. So that will give us a sky blue color. Now geometry and material are set, so let's understand these. We have geometry. Okay, geometry is THREE.BoxGeometry, width, height, depth. There's also a sphere, a cylinder, and a torus. For materials, this is the basic material. We specify the color to it. There is Lambert, Phong, Standard, Toon, and Normal. We'll be switching to Normal after I show you how the basics is done, like this. So yeah, so now we have the geometry and material. Now we can make the cube itself, where cube is equals to new THREE.Mesh. We specify the geometry and the material. Okay, so that is done. Now a mesh is simple. It can be a cube, it can be a sphere, you can make it whatever you want. So, and then we add this to the scene.add cube. And now if you refresh, we still won't see anything because we have not rendered it. So we go renderer.render, and we pass in the scene and the camera. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so I forgot to add new here, new THREE.Scene. So now if you refresh, then see we have a cube here, but it doesn't look 3D. So for that, we can change the rotation. Cube.rotation.x is equals to, let's say, 10. Cube.rotation.y is equals to 5. Maybe we can experiment, and then it's gone. Okay, I think we should first animate it anyways. I may have made a mistake with the camera or anything, I don't know, but okay, so we need to rotate this cube. So let's make a function animate. This will be called over and over again. For 60 FPS, this will be called 60 times per second. So let's do request animation frame animate. So this is telling THREE.js that this function is the recurring function of our project. So this will be called again and again. So we don't have to use a set interval or anything. So, and then we can render it. What is happening with my code editor? Render scene and camera. So we need to do something when this changes. So when the function is called over and over again, so we can do cube.rotation. Okay, rotation dot x is equals to plus is equals to, we want to add to the rotation 0.01 cube dot rotation dot y plus is equals to 0.01. So if we now look at the project, then well, and we also have to call this function. So we call this function and then we have a rotating cube finally. So there you have a basic cube rotating, but it doesn't look very pleasing. So as I said, there are other types of materials. Let's switch to normal material dot mesh normal material, and if you do this, then we have, see, a colorful cube. So there you have it. That's, you have made your own colorful cube, 3D cube rotating, and it took only this much code. It's not a lot. It's amazing what you can do with THREE.js. So well, thank you for watching this video.